It is a great pleasure to be here today to hear the insights of these experts. It is my honor to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Gwendolyn S. Tadeo. Dr. Gwendolyn Tadeo is a professor at St. Louis University. She's also a faculty of the Department of Mathematics as well as a lecturer in the School of Advanced Studies. She is the Research Capacitation and Institutional Studies Officer of the SLU Research and Innovation Center, who caters not only to the needs of undergraduate and graduate researchers, but also handles the dissemination and interpretation of institutional studies. As an academic professional, she earned her PhD in mathematics, to which she obtained the most outstanding PhD graduate award given by the Mathematical Society of the Philippines, the Philippines' premier professional organization dedicated to the promotion of mathematics research and education in the country. She also has publications in top-tiered reputable journals with international mathematician co-authors from Germany, the United Kingdom, and the USA. Before we start the presentation, we would like to remind all the attendees that if anyone has a question, please feel free to post them on the Zoom chat to be addressed at the last section of the presentation. Prof. Gwendolyn, the time and screen are yours.
Thank you, Helena. So hi, everyone. So can you hear me? Am I audible po? Okay. So first, as I share my screen, I would like to thank the organizers for involving us in this endeavor. And I would like again to welcome our participants to this activity. So can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am, the screen is visible.
Okay. Yeah. So what I'm tasked to do today is to discuss on can I just, because I am seeing my entire screen, I could not see. There. Okay. So I'm tasked to discuss about how to generate data with measurable social impact. But before going to the discussion, may just try to look into the objectives and the goals of this activity in this hope that I would be able to establish more the importance of my topic. So in our activity for today, we are asked to cultivate innovative ideas from our young and dynamic future leaders, addressing some of the most compelling issues known to mankind in this contemporary era, while carrying the spirit of ASEAN to spread growth across Asia, aiming to become a fast-growing, inclusive, and sustainable economic region. So this program, I know for a fact by joining the activity yesterday, so I've seen that our participants are undergraduate students coming from various disciplines across the region, across Asia. So I've seen you're coming from the different universities in Asia, and you came here to join the activity to develop more your critical thinking skills by identifying relevant issues to future livelihood and to seek the guidance of experts to develop well thought out innovative solutions. And I know pretty well that you tried to work on areas related to artificial intelligence and data science, Asian civilization, and energy and sustainability. But I'm also sure, and I've seen some of your videos and presentation, that your task actually by the end of this activity is to come up with presentations or essay or proposed solutions that are clear, but most importantly, not just being clear, but to actually show that your project has actually measurable social impact. And I think our speakers have been emphasizing on this one as well as our discussion a while ago with Dr. Lamadrid. So it's being emphasized that your project at the end of its completion should actually contribute into providing or generating social impact. So my talk now is, how do we generate data with measurable social impact? Okay, so again, I hope that with this activity, you would be able to develop more your critical thinking skills, and with the help of our experts, you would be able to polish your essay as part of the outputs of this Day2 Leader Camp activity. Okay? So again, may I iterate, you are asked to formulate ideas, generate ideas that are with social, not just social impact, but we want to emphasize on the measurable social impact. Okay. So before we go to addressing the question, which is how, so let's try first to define what is measurable data and then also social impact to be able to understand how are we going to come up with data with measurable social impact. So this is a very timely discussion, especially for me as I am in the mathematical field. Okay, so when we say measurable data, it is something that is capable of being measured. Okay, so it being capable of being measured, it can be measured, it can be counted, it can be stated in specific terms such as size, amount, duration, or mass. Okay, and that being said, it is usually expressed in quantities. Okay, and once it's in numbers, in quantities, this can be analyzed and compared, subject to definitely statistical and mathematical techniques, making it valuable in scientific research, business analysis, and most especially in measuring social impact. Because remember later on, if you want to make sure that your project has corresponding measurable impact, we need to know that are there changes that happened after your proposed solution? Would there be an increase? Or it's possible you could also see is there a possibility of decrease, or could there be no change at all? So that alone can be now a reason why we really need to know how to generate data, not just data, but measurable data that gives us measurable social impact. Okay. So here I need to emphasize this is highly mathematical, but anybody doing mathematics, you know pretty well that we measure what is measurable and make measurable what is not so. Okay, so we make everything measurable to be able to compare, especially you, to establish that your projects, your essay, your proposed solution have corresponding social impact. We need to show that it's really measurable and there's actually a change that happened or that can happen after the implementation of your program or your proposed solutions. So social impact. So we're done with the word measurable. So I know pretty well this is not a new word for you, but just to emphasize the meaning of social impact, it refers to the effect on people and communities that happens as a result of either an action or even an inaction, or in your case, your proposed solution, your activity, your project, your program, and later on, even the others. So this can include, as I said, this will include both positive and the negative effects, which can be felt if you look into the presentation, as I look into the presentation, some of you tried to address problems that are locally, nationally, or globally. So these projects that you had set or you're preparing to implement could be of hopefully not negative, but we are aiming for positive impacts. Okay, so organizations and individuals actually working towards social impact aim to improve the world by addressing social issues and promoting positive change. So I'm hoping and I know from the random videos that I've watched from your presentations, I know you are here to address some of the social challenges with the aim of promoting positive change. Okay? So here, although again I have stated that the social impact could be positive or negative, we want to focus definitely in this activity on the significant and positive changes, okay, that solve or at least address the social challenges and injustices. So later on, to show that your projects have corresponding social impact, you might want to have this positive impacts as your target for your project. So you could state job creation, improve access to education and healthcare, reduce crime rates, environmental conservation efforts, and cultural preservation initiatives. So this could all be a product of the three areas, the projects that you have on the corresponding three areas. Okay? So may I just quote, I've been reading a lot about social impact. So may I just quote this one? You can think of your social impact programs as an effort to create public value but in ways that are systematic, sustainable, and innovative, words that are very present in the objective of this activity. Okay? So another way to think of social impact is as a work that serves to address a local or global community need. So I'm very happy as I watch your presentations, you were very certain as to what your projects or your essays would be addressing. But again, we have to emphasize as you address this, you have to make sure that at the end of the completion or the implementation of the project, it will be of social impact. Okay? So next, we are done defining what's measurable social impact. Now let's try to look into the reason why we do measuring of social impact. Why do we need to measure social impact? Okay? So we measure social impact to establish the effectiveness of our programs. That is to for cases when you have your programs being funded. So we want to show the effectiveness of our program by actually showing them that it has a social impact. Okay? And then another one is that when we show that our procedures, our proposed solutions are effective, then we're actually showing a track record of success. And showing that our procedures are effective, our solutions are effective, we're actually helping good ideas spread. Okay? That is to allow positive change to infiltrate more societies and definitely improve more lives. But again, it can happen that even if you have very novel, very novel objectives, you have very good objectives, you have ideal solutions, but it can happen that our initiatives are not performing well. So once you know, by measuring your social impact, once you realize that your initiatives are not performing well, then this now is an opportunity for you to change and improve, as long as you want to ensure that resources committed would be of environmental, social, and even positive social impact. So now, once we already know what's measurable social impact and the reason why we do measure social impact, the next thing that I want to present are the best practices that I've seen so far for measuring social impact. So you might be asking, ma'am, the topic is how to generate data with measurable social impact. So in my context, if you want your data, if you want to ensure that your proposed solution, your essay, would highlight on the fact that it will generate outputs that are of measurable social impact, you need to know how they measure social impact. Because once you know how it is being measured, you could actually strategize, you could actually form or revise your methods or improve your methods in such a way that you would be sure that at the end of your project or at the completion of the project, you are pretty sure that it would be of social impact because you could actually measure your performance, making it possible to know or to ascertain that what you have proposed will be felt by the society. Okay, so that's the reason why I am presenting now here 7 of the best practices for measuring social impact. So we have decided a framework for measuring social impact, identifying the metrics for social impact, understanding your attribution, you get the timing right, you value qualitative data, you recognize your own accountability, and lastly, you need to be open to learning. So the rest of my discussion would be evolving on these 7 practices. And as I discuss each and every practice, what I want you to look at is you go over your paper, your presentation, your methodology, and try to consider how you could revise or restate it in such a way that you would also include these practices, not entirely as is, but to include as well, or maybe try to include it as you revise or as you rephrase the statements that you have there in your paper. Okay? So with that, may I start with the first best practice? Actually, it's like laying down the best practices in chronological order. Okay? So first of the best practices would be to decide on a framework. Okay? So choosing a framework, okay, it's a step-by-step process, actually gives you a structure within which you can set your targets and against which you can measure your performance. So I know pretty well you have already your goals, your targets, your solution. But again, these targets, you have to make sure that it should lead to a particular social impact. So it's a good thing that you know already you could set your targets, make sure that these targets will lead to measurable impact so that you know how to measure your performance. Okay? So first, ideally, so this is the best way to start identifying your framework for measuring your social impact at the end of your project. So you do it before you begin your program. Because working backwards, your target performance indicators will in fact develop a program strategy for you. So you know pretty well what's your target. So as early as now, this would be my strategy so that at the end and the completion of the project, I know that my project will be of measurable social impact. Okay? But again, that's too ambitious. So you have to look into your available resources as well and the scope and the focus of your program. And then from there, you decide whether you use an existing framework or you create your own. Okay, so there are two for this best practice. So we look at the use of existing framework. Okay, so existing framework, these are usually you have templates for this one because most of the organization, most of the academic institution have already this established framework. And what's good about this established framework is that they offer as well guidance on how to assess your performance. So you could actually make use of this as your basis. So to name two, there are actually different types or different ways of, different existing frameworks that you could adopt or adapt. Okay, so could I just name two? And in this case, we have the impact assessment and the sustainable development goals. Okay, for the impact assessment, as the word suggests, you assess your impact. Okay, so these help organizations, individuals, proponents of projects just like you to measure the corresponding impact of your project to people, to community and environment, which actually will help you to assess your performance, but not just to assess your performance, but actually to also identify areas for improvement. Okay. But another one, I think this was mentioned yesterday. I have seen it in the posters as well of this activity and the presentation of Dr. Lamadrid, which is the Sustainable Development Goals. Okay? So this one were designed by the United Nations in 2015, and this serves as a blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all. That's a tagline. Okay, so these sustainable development goals are actually 17, and it span from ending poverty to achieving gender equality to responsible production and consumption. And this provides a North Star for many organizations, or just like you proposing a project, to judge progress towards targets. So if it's difficult for you or until now, you're not pretty sure, you know your outputs, you know your outcomes, but you are not yet sure with the corresponding social impact, then you can go over the sustainable development goals. Maybe one of those 17 goals can be cited by yours in your project. Okay. So before I go to the next one, can I just give you some examples? So for the impact assessment, there are a lot of templates. As you can see here, I have included sites where I have obtained pictures or even the discussion. So here, I've shared with you a particular example of an impact assessment. And then for the 13 or 14 days that you have after this activity, you can go over this impact assessment. What are the usual items being asked to assess whether you have corresponding social impact, and knowing the items, the questions, the ways on how to measure social impact, you could strategize to consider these items. How will I include certain activities in my essay that would actually address this item so that I'm sure again that my solution or my paper could generate something which is valuable to the society. Okay. So next one, we have the Sustainable Development Goals. You've been seeing this symbol. So we have the 17, from 1 to 17, you have it all there. So this would be talking about sustainability and social impact. So you could see maybe which one or choose one. I think in this activity, the organizers were able to identify 3 sustainable goals being targeted by this activity. So in your proposed solution, what could be the SDG that you want to address? Okay, so you can choose one. And if you're not sure, even now you're not yet sure, although those are easy to understand words, you could actually go to the website of United Nations, check now the Sustainable Development Goals indicators. Okay, I think I have it on the next slide. So you'll see something like this when you go to the United Nations website. So you could see, you can choose here your goals, maybe. Okay, so, or you could do the other way around. You could look at the indicators. From the indicators, what among or which among these indicators could be used in your proposed solutions in your essay. And maybe knowing what indicators you can address, then you can now set your goals, the possible social impact that you might be able to give to your society just by looking at this indicator. So there are more. So imagine there are 17 SDGs. So this is just goal 1. This would run down to different indicators. So you might as well want to look at this one to further know what could be the possible social impact of your project, because I think that's one of the things that you have to highlight as well. Okay. So for the next one, still we're on best practice number 1. So the first one that I have discussed is when you try to use an existing framework. Now, the second option is you create your own. It's a suggestion that if your program or your proposed solution is more focused, so you know a specific goal that you want to achieve, then it is beneficial to do a proprietary framework, a one that is customized for your program. Okay, so how do we create a framework? So we have now models wherein you can adopt this model to customize your own. Okay, so I've cited here 3. First one would be theory of change. So a theory of change is a model that identifies the long-term goal of the project. And once you establish, or the organization establish now the long-term goals, they could actually work backwards to identify the necessary preconditions that are needed to bring about the desired change. So it's like having these are my goals, these are my needed output. What do I need to do now? It's like what should you include in your framework now to be able to have your corresponding social impact, to ensure that you will have a corresponding impact. Okay. But what I want to emphasize more is the next model, which is the logic model. Okay? So similar to a theory of change, a logic model identifies not just the long-term goals, but in fact, it identifies the inputs, the activities, and the outputs. Note that these 3 can be identified by the proponent, or in your case, you can identify your inputs, your activities, and your outputs. Okay? But as well, you would be able to identify, hopefully with the help of this discussion and some readings that you might want to do in the next 13 days, you identify your short-term and long-term goals, and definitely your ultimate social impact. Or you might also want to adapt the next model. That is, you identify the 5 dimensions of impact in such a way that you answer the 5 questions. What, who, how much, contribution, what are the contribution, what are the risks? Okay, so across which impacts can be benchmarked and measured. Okay. So with that, before I proceed to an example showing you of the model, may I just proceed with the second best practice, which is identifying your metrics. Remember, we have to emphasize on your social impact being measurable. Okay? The ability to count, the ability to measure. So in that very reason, we have to identify as well your metrics. Okay? So the best social impact metrics to track and measure your program activity is particularly based on the framework that you would select. So it's very important that as early as now, you lay down your framework. What are the processes involved? And then another thing is that once you have your framework, you have to look at your scope. Are you going to consider only a specific scope, or you're aiming for a broader scope? So this two would now serves as a basis in formulating your impact metrics. Okay, so diving deeper into the kinds of metrics you might want to consider, we'll follow a basic logic model as promised. Okay, so the basic model that we usually have for any project is that you identify your inputs, your outputs, and then your impacts. Okay, but what I want to emphasize, it's not just this three that you want to be emphasizing to make sure that you have really measurable impact. So instead of just this logic model, we look at this model. Okay, so we want to look at the program activities, the outputs, the outcomes before we look into the impacts. By the way, this presentation of the logic model is a so-called causal change. So causal chain, as the name suggests, causal, it shows the cause and effect relationship. So a little bit of technical terms in mathematics. So causal in the sense that there's a cause and effect relationship, that having this program activities, your desire is to come up with the outputs. And then with these outputs that are generated from the program activities, by exerting the efforts in a longer time, we want to attain the outcomes. And then having the outcomes stay there, make the outcomes sustainable. In the long run, we want to we want to acquire whatever social impact we have intended at the beginning of the program. Okay, so here, not just not just input, output impacts, but we want to look at this series of steps in your causal chain. Okay, so to understand further what should be included in the input, output, outcome, and definitely the ultimate social impact. For the output, for example, that will include the activities you want to check. Are the activities carried out as planned? Okay. Were you able to bring out the product you intended to provide after processing all the inputs? Your deliverables, your services. Okay. So target groups are reached by those outputs, by those services, by those products, by those deliverables. Next, still under output, target groups accept the offer. So here would be those activities you can include to check on your output. Okay. Now, outcome would be broader in scope compared to your output. So for the outcome, this will include target groups change their attitudes or develop their new skills. Target groups change their behavior. Target groups' living conditions change. What I want to emphasize here is that for the outcome to take place, there should be a change in the group. So as a change, you're making it measurable. Is there a negative? Is there a positive? And it's possible still to have no change at all. And once you're done with the outcome for a longer, you let your project stay, you let it be implemented for a longer period of time, then there you can feel the society changes. By the way, for a social impact, a sustainable social impact to be felt, you need at least 2 years. So your project need to stay at least 2 years to be able to feel its social impact. So next, I've been using this in the logic model, the input and the output, just to clarify. Input would mean definitely, as the word suggests, these are resources that are used or invested in the project. And as resources, this would now include your human, financial, physical, material, and even time allotted in the project. Now, output, on the other hand, these are tangible and concrete products, definitely resulting from the use of the project inputs. So just to give you an idea what should be included in the output, you could, again, I'm emphasizing on the output containing the services, the products, and the deliverables of the program. Okay, so see, for example, this would include number of hectares planted to trees, number of farmers organized into cooperatives, technology adoption, methods or approaches, and even increased in productivity, and so on. Okay, so now you might want to process what are my inputs, what are my outputs with my proposed project. Okay, so just to give an example, so let's say we have a project of establishing schools in an area. So you could think of all the possible resources put into that project. So you can have the funding, the sources of fund, the manpower, the people who would be constructing the school, the land area to be given where they would construct the school. So that would now include all your inputs. Now, the outputs definitely would be the schools constructed. And in the long run, after having this as my output, what would be the corresponding effect to the society? So we have better education, we have increased literacy, better employment, better standards of life, positive development, positive social change. Okay? So imagine in your project, maybe you could always specify this. Remember that the inputs and the outputs can be identified by the proponent and should be identified by the proponent. But for the impacts, you might want to do research as well, some readings to verify that you're really having this as your impact, okay, for your project. Again, I would suggest to go over the 17 SDG goals as the goals are already there. And then it will help you identify what could be the possible social impact that you could state in your paper. Do not claim it, have a basis for it. And that's the best way forward, especially with the 13 and 14 days you only have left for finishing your paper. Okay, so next example would be project to help an indigenous group. Okay, so your inputs could be funds for the nation or funds from the nation as well, assigned weekly volunteers, host weekly educational sessions. So let's say these are the inputs to the project. So the corresponding outputs would be meals and supplies provided, people fed, IG members being educated. So I emphasize here number of meals, number of people, number of IG, because again, we need to have every step in your logic model to be measurable to make sure that the end goal, which is social impact, should also be measurable. Okay. For the outcomes, once you have this output, by the way, I have to emphasize again that the outcomes are broader goals compared to your outputs. Okay, so something that you have to attain in an extended effort coming from your output. So in this case, in this project, the outcomes would be reduction of hunger, reduction of food insecurity, and increase in awareness. Okay, so from inputs to outcomes, from inputs to outputs, and then finally to the outcomes. Okay. So next, we have another example. So here we have still your causal chain. So we can look at the inputs, see, for example, human resources, finances, materials, training. These are the ones invested to the project. The outputs, as a product of the inputs, we have now the products, the actual products, the development of plans, studies and report, information campaigns, legislation drafted. Obviously, you could see that these are really coming from the input, the processing of the inputs. Now, the outcomes are the changes that could take place after the outputs. So you have knowledge and behavioral change, improved practices, increased service, lending, and investment, improved legislation passed. Look at those words: change, improved, increase, improved. These are words already pertaining to measurable outcomes. Okay, so increase means there's a change from a value to a higher value, right? So all of this are measurable. And then lastly, for the impact, we have increased financing or sales, increased employment, increased profitability, and increase in exports. So that's for our example. Now,